Hello, everybody. My name is Ciula, and I'm a technical program manager.
Hello everybody, and my name is Cansu. I'm an architect at Red Hat. Anna and I, we've been working with organizations to help them to kickstart their platform engineering teams, build platforms that help them to get their achieve their business goals, help them to create the platform that fit for purposes. And for this reason, today we are here to talk about this. Our talk is about internal platform champions, how we can build trust with them, and how we can drive adoption to our platform. But before that, we don't want to turn this to yet another developer experience focused talk. I'm sure there are a lot of great talks about this in this conference, and we are not saying that this is not important. We just want to talk. We just want to shift the focus to a little bit of next slides. We want to talk about a story of heroes exploring the world. So we know that developers are in our focus, they're important, but we want to explore the whole ecosystem of platform. We want to understand these other parties that are involved and in play, and how we can turn them into our champions.
Indeed, because building a platform is not a project. Building a platform is the program that requires end-to-end thinking about the life cycle. In fact, it's not a program, it's actually a product. That's why we really try to make sure that whenever we embrace any of those engagements, we put the product mindset first. So we've got this navigator that helps us bring the right ways of working when we build a platform. We start with understanding why are we building those platforms, who are we building it for, what are the problems that our platform is going to solve, how are we going to measure the success. We come up with the options that we are going to implement, and then we start building those features, those sub-platforms, those elements, those modules, and we learn from them as we go along. And once we build something that's worthwhile, we measure whether or not it's solving the problem. And if it doesn't, then we go again and again. And with that in mind, the building a platform is a never-ending journey of continuous discovery and continuous delivery. We are not going to focus on the entire journey. Today's focus is on the who part of it, and we are going to take you there.
Yeah. So as Anna said, like, this is a journey, and during your journey you may encounter some new allies and maybe some new monsters, let's say, that you need to tame and turn them into friends, into allies. So at the beginning we need to understand the parties who are involved with the platform, or like understand the ecosystem that we are operating in. And as at the beginning of the journey, we need to answer these questions like, where do we fit in the system? Who is going to use our platform? Who is going to pay for our platform, and who cares about it, or who is threatened about this? So we're gonna focus on these, and we're gonna focus on starting from the users and then decision makers and influencers, and we will try to identify who are these and what they care about. So in here you see there is a stakeholder map. As a practice, there are different ways to actually visualize the stakeholders, and this is one of the simple way of doing that. So we will build on top of this, and we will talk about all these people who can, who have a stake in the game. So
indeed. So we start with the users. So this bit is actually a little bit about DevX, but we cannot do anything without the people who are actually going to use the fruits of our hard work, the people who are going to use the platform, the people who are going to benefit from that. So we start with identifying who are those stream-aligned team. Maybe they need something from us. So we want to understand what is the experience that they need to be able to be convinced to use our product. So some of the teams might want to have some templates, another might want some sandbox environments, the other ones might need the login as a service, etc. We as a platform team might need to obtain the capability this or capability that. The whole point is to understand what constitutes value for the users, because value can have different forms and different names. So as long as we establish what our users want, then we need to think about the fact that those users don't operate in the vacuum, especially when we are talking about internal products as a platform. Developers typically do not hold budgets for the platforms, for the tools, for what they want to do. These are the decision makers in the organizations that we also need to understand what they want from the platform. So the platform should be useful for developers, should improve their experience, should decrease the cognitive load, but it also needs to support the business. It has to help the business to improve their return on investment, maybe help release their products to the customers faster. It needs to be able to provide ability to get customer feedback sooner, because the marketplace is changing and we need to be able to win with the competition. So we need to understand what is the value for those people who are the ones who are actually able to make things happen, and how can we connect the platform roadmap to the business goals. Exactly. Moving on.
But there is also these influencers who may actually influence the design and capabilities of your platform. So we have these other parties in our organization that we all get interact one way or another, like security teams, like compliance teams, or the infrastructure teams provide an infra for our platform. So these are all the powers that may affect our platform. So they care about different things, like security team can ask questions to our platform, like what kind of security features can we build into the platforms if the platform is gonna help us to ship the products sooner and like faster and better quality, what kind of security features I can embed in that whole process. So the security team can guide us to bring this kind of features and help us to build actually this kind of features in our platforms. So instead of maybe compliance team will ask about the activities, like login the activities for the users on the platform, and maybe instead of us solving this problem or instead of us trying to build something new to address this question or this need, compliance team can guide us to like what is inside the organization already and how we can connect to this, so they can ensure that our platform is compliant. And same goes for like while we are building this platform for our developers and with our like shaping the features with our developers, we also need to make sure that this platform is high available, has a disaster recovery solutions, are easy to maintain. So infrastructure team can help us to actually bring this kind of non-functional requirements, let's say, to help us to tick those boxes about the non-functional requirements. So in here we need to identify who that kind of teams or like the personas can help us to make sure that our platform fit for the organization purpose and follow our organization's compliance and security regulations and requirements. And this also will help us to understand what kind of fears or like skepticism they may have regarding our platforms, and how we can address those things, and how we can ensure that they understand the way that we address those fears or skepticism in our platform. So it is not just the users or the people who are gonna pay for this, but also there are the other influencers that can help us to bring this platform into the best way that help the organization to serve its business goal.
Indeed, after we identified all the players in the game, now we need to come up with the game plan how to manage them, because there's hundreds of ways of managing stakeholders. I'm sure that you saw a lot of maps divided by the interest and power, by the sentiment and power, etc. We need to understand what's important in our circumstances, what we care about. Are we caring about bringing people on board? Are we caring about managing all the challenges we are being thrown at us? Once we devise a plan how to manage communications, how to keep people in the loop, we are ready to go. So what are the things that are important in managing our stakeholders? First of all, we have to stay focused. We cannot be doing 20 different things, because if we disperse too much, if we spread ourselves too thin, we won't be able to manage anything. We need to prioritize accordingly to value. What is the value at different stages of the life cycle of the platform? Different things will be important when we are just building the platform from scratch. Different things will be important when we are scaling the platform in the next level, and different things will be important when the platform is already mature and we are just onboarding more and more teams. However, there are three things that are super important for any of those stages. We have to be transparent. We have to validate open communications with everybody. We need to have a mechanism that people can provide their questions, their concerns, and so on, and we need to have a way to address them. And also, we need to have a shared understanding of how the platform is going to benefit or impact every single player in the game.
Exactly. So now we can talk about what we can do in order to win in trust and hearts, in order to hit those points that Anna mentioned about transparency and open communication, prioritization. If you think about our stakeholder mapping, users was in the heart of it. So user research, user interviews, environment research will help us to understand the users' expectations, users' ambitions, users' current pain points, and this will help us to shape the product that they need actually. And for example, on the screen on the left-hand side, there is this practice. What practice is called empathy mapping, and empathy mapping can give us to identify these points about the user's needs and user's challenges and ambitions and so on, and then those things can become a backlog item in your product backlog, in your platform backlog, and showing that the developers that these things are on the roadmap. They will help. It will help us to build the trust and open the way to share the feedback with you. So or another thing is on the screen, that you can just sit down with your users and have an honest conversation, watching them while they are using your platform and gathering those timely feedbacks. They are really important. And the important thing, it's not just feeding them into the backlog, because adding things into the backlog is easy, but also sharing them that you are working on these and you are addressing those needs are also quite important. So for that, Anna, what we can do?
We can obviously show them what we build. We know what they want, we know what they ask us for, but now we build something and we want to understand whether they are happy with what we build. So show, not tell. You can write a report of hundreds of pages, but is anybody going to read that? Showing and inviting users to conversation is way more powerful, way more important, and you can learn much more from that. So we believe in releasing early, releasing often, and running as many showcases as possible to gather users' feedback and continuously improve based on what we learn from that. Because as Cansu is going to tell you,
as they say, that feedback is a gift, but the actual gift is that having the timely, effective feedback. So inviting those, not just your users but inviting your decision makers and your influencers into your design sessions, into your plannings, inviting them into those showcases that Anna just showed, will open up the floor for them to give you the feedback, and their feedback will help you to shape your platform on the timely manner. It's not gonna do any good that after you release some features in the platform that some people will come and ask about those questions, like, oh, but how do you do this bit for the security, or where is this report for the security scan, etc., which might actually take you a couple of steps back and take that feature off and refactor it again. So it's important to open the door for them, having an open door policy, and invite them to feedback and show that you listen to them and you feed their comments and their questions, address their questions into the platform and somehow. So it's really important to give them the floor, give them the environment to share the feedback with you, and also show them that you are listening to them. So how are we gonna actually show them so that will help them to increase the trust to our platform?
we can obviously show them what we build. We know what they want, we know what they ask us for, but now we build something and we want to understand whether they are happy with what we build. So showing and inviting users to conversation is way more powerful, way more important, and you can learn much more from that. So there is nothing better than showing people the love if we show some progress. So what we like to do is using target outcomes that we can clearly measure how we are helping the other teams. So here is an example from one of our engagements. When we were building this feature of the platforms that was going to suppose that team to be able to release their products. So we are showing how far we are from achieving this outcome in order they can achieve theirs. So being able to clearly state what we are going in and how we are going to measure that and connect it to the business goals is a really powerful tool to help us win the hearts of those people who might be potentially initially skeptical or maybe not that convinced. I think that's all we could fit into this 15 minutes window. I hope it was useful, that you learned something from that. We would like to thank you very much for all the time you took to listen to our session. And here is some ways to contact us if you would like to hear more about any particular topics that we mentioned. We will be more than happy to answer your questions.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.